And then he was like, were you gonna tell me like after we got engaged? And then in my head I was like, bold of you to assume she was actually going to say yes to
Madame, to you also. Welcome back.
We are back and we are now reviewing part 2 of the Ultimatum season 3. And now the couples are back to their original
Partners
that they came with on the show, and they're basically going to go into a trial marriage now with them.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel like it sets you up because you kind of go from this escape.
Yeah, this bubble where you've been with a stranger.
Away from your partner and what your
weeks.
partner is. And then you just come back to the reality of your relationship. And that's why I just think it's a trap. It's a trap.
And then that's where you now have to decide, like, wow, after this, like, 3 weeks with my person, do I actually want to marry this person? Or do I want to leave by myself?
100%.
So, yeah.
100%.
So, in them coming back, JR, Zaina, thoughts?
That's where Zaina finds out that JR and Sandy have kissed.
Yeah.
And you could see that, like, she's
not okay.
Her voice is breaking.
She's not okay. And this is something that, like, I was interrogating as I was watching. Because, like I said, like, in the beginning, they were saying that, you know, when they come onto the show, when they break up, they are completely broken up. They're going to let their connections form with other people. There are no rules, right? And then she finds out that he kissed Sandy twice. And then she's not happy about it.
And he says to her that, well, we did say there would be no boundaries on the show. But she then says in response, but I was also kind of seeing how far you would actually go to put our relationship in jeopardy. And he's like, well, you can't really blame me for not having boundaries. Like, that's what we agreed
to. And to be honest, I know unpopular opinion, but my thing is, like, don't agree to things that you know are going to make you feel away. And that's how I felt with Zaina. Like, I felt sad for her that, like, you know, he definitely went all the way with Sandy and stuff. But if you've come onto the show and you've had a conversation that, like, when we come onto the show, there are no rules, and he really takes it to be no rules, you can't be touched when now he breaks invisible rules.
Hey, friend, I mean, in a way, I know he said, like, I didn't know you were testing me, right? And it does kind of feel like I'm being tested for something I didn't know I was being tested.
Yeah.
But it's also just like,
you expected him to be different, or to do different. What do you mean?
He didn't even think twice about, like, she was just gone from him. There was zero guilt, zero conscience, and I just feel like it tells me everything.
Rules.
It doesn't mean go do the rules.
Awa banyana, and this is what awa banyana. Aye, girls. Say what you mean. Say what you mean.
Okay, fine.
And this is why we hurt ourselves, because we don't say what we mean. You pretend to just go with the flow and it's fine, and then the next thing, homie genuinely goes with the flow, and then you're hurt with him going with the flow. And I think that's what happened with this situation. If you're gonna say to your person, we're gonna go on the show, we're gonna fuck around and find out, don't be mad when I fuck around and find out.
Okay,
that's my 2 cents. So that's JR and Zaina.
She does need to leave him, though.
I agree. Oh, she's such a... That man don't deserve that girl.
Yeah.
Which makes us segue into Sandy and Nick now when they get back together.
Woo!
Mess. So, Nick finds out that Sandy kissed JR more than once, and he loses his shit. I think the whole season so far is just Nick go.
Guys, he loses his shit, and then he says to her, when were you gonna tell me this? And then she was like, I was gonna tell you after the show. And then he was like, after we were engaged? And then my eyebrows were like, bold of you to assume that you were gonna get engaged. Like, are you aware of the partner that you are with?
Yeah. Clearly not.
She was laughing at you in front of JR.
Yeah. She was putting you on speaker when you're going through the most.
She dropped the phone while you were crying. Are you aware of the person that you are with? Because it's just given to Lulu.
It's the Salulu.
It's just, it's just, and he also just love bombs her once they're back together.
100%.
And he's just like, you're the love of my life. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I genuinely cannot picture my life without you. And I'm just like, this is a lot. And then also, did you see that he went and got the same tattoo as JR?
And it's wild because it's not like they planned it. He didn't know that he was going to get the same tattoo, and then turns out he got the same tattoo, and then obviously JR was like, yeah, he's trying to be like me.
Do you believe that? Because I just, at this point, I don't think it was to chance. I'm not even going to
You don't think so? I thought it was chance.
It
was annoyingly chance.
At the same area. At the same area.
But his was here, isn't it? Oh, that's awkward. Yeah, so that happened. Nick, Sandy, it's a mess. Nick is constantly apologizing for how he acted while Sandy was with JR. Sandy is actually missing JR, but also trying to affirm her man that she like really loves him, but also we don't know where she's at in terms of wanting to marry this guy.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Like, affirm her man.
Yeah, no, she's actually acting like a dude.
Affirmations, honey. Affirmations.
So that's Sandy and Thingy. Scotty and Ari, when they come back together, I don't actually know how that's gonna pan out. Like I said, I have trust issues with Scotty. Like, he started off great and then he just started becoming weird.
The one thing we did mention is that so when they're back, she speaks a lot about the fact that Scotty speaks a lot about the fact that he just feels that he has made a lot of good decisions in his life, and she just is very critical and never sees that he's a good decision maker.
Yeah.
And I think that was just quite an eye-opener, because I think to a certain extent it kind of just opens a window for you to see why she's unsure about marrying him.
Yeah.
And I think a part of it is that she doesn't trust that he has the capability to lead and make good decisions when it comes to their relationship and if they were to get married.
100%.
100%. And I think in a situation like that, you just need to leave. If you don't trust a man's leadership capabilities.
I'm thirsty and there's no water. Woo!
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's repairable.
Yeah, because where do you begin to repair something like that? If you genuinely don't trust that your man can lead, are you going to stay in a situation where you are now both going to frustrate each other? Because now you're going to be frustrated that, like, you think that I can't lead, and I'm going to be frustrated by you not leading. Or seeing that in the way that you lead is probably not enough. And so I just feel like that's one of those irreconcilable differences, I think.
I agree. So, yeah. But other than that, the person Scotty is, I just think that she needs to escape him. He's so toxic. And just how he shouted at her in the first episode, and her brother actually mentioned that he liked
He's not
Caleb.
a fan.
He's not a fan. And he was just like, I really love, like, he was so in love with Caleb.
He's like, you're a lot more goofy when you're with him.
And
you're a lot
she's
more
a lot,
yourself.
and you can kind of just see that, like, even her family is not
about Scotty. So interesting to see what might happen there. We don't know if they are going to get married. I do think that this girl is like dangerously into Scotty in a way.
You think so?
I do.
But she keeps emphasizing all the qualities he doesn't have that she found in Caleb.
True, but then she's also emphasizing how they've been together, like how they've managed to sort of still be together for the past 3 years, and like it's worked, and if he could just tweak these few things, then maybe. So I don't know where they are going to be at. Predictions. What are we thinking is going to happen? JR Zaina, do you think they'll get married?
Did we do Caleb and Mariah?
Oh, Conja, there's Caleb and Mariah. Mariah needs therapy. Caleb is just living his best life. That's the review.
Mariah needs to go do a bit of self-discovery.
Yeah. Live her best life. She's a gorgeous girl.
She's young. Also, she's 25. She's 24.
Girl, definitely.
What were we doing in
who got
24?
married at like 23, 22, 21. So.
Yeah, I just think she's anxiously attached. There's things she needs to work on there so she can just form a more secure bond with Caleb. He does his best to reassure her, but I think there's so much work that needs to be done to kind of define herself outside of that relationship.
100%.
And I think we've all been in situations where we, at some point in our lives, where we centered a relationship and lost our essence and ourselves along the way. And yeah, you'd hate for her to realize that knee deep in marriage.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Predictions?
Zaina and JR. I think they are not going to get married. I hope, actually, that JR is not ready to marry her so that she can skedaddle and remove herself from the situation and go where she will be appreciated. And that's what I hope is going to happen.
What if
But a part of me also thinks that they might.
What if JR shocks us?
Yeah, that's also a possibility. That's also a possibility.
Then my girl is stuck.
That's also a possibility. So, yeah, Nick and Sandy.
Those two just need to break up. At this point, Sandy is pining over JR.
Yeah.
She's missing that man. Her family doesn't like
Nick.
Doesn't like
But I feel like, and this is the thing with white
also
people.
not Sandy's mom talking about JR's abs. And
Man.
I was just like, you are sexualizing this man.
100. You know what? I don't know if this is a good thing, but when I was watching the interaction with JR and Sandy's family, it just felt very much
Like, get out.
Yeah, it gave me those vibes. Like they were just fetishizing him. Like, oh my god, he doesn't seem like one of them. Is the vibe I got.
Hate that. But yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they should get together. Like, Sandy has disrespected that man, and she just doesn't have the time of day for him.
Also, she's young. She's 28. He's like 38 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I think Sandy's just a happy-go-lucky girl. She
and I think
wants to live her life.
This was definitely an eye-opener that, for her at least, that like she's not ready.
She doesn't want to get married.
And I think Nick has, Nick has some deep-seated issues, because if at the sight of breaking, like at the sight of an issue, you break down, like the whole world is falling apart. We need to go unpack that in therapy of like, what is it?
Like, I don't.
And also,
is it deep-seated issues or is it human?
But also, Sandy said that there were things I was asking of you before we came onto the show.
Oh yeah, he got too comfortable.
You got too comfortable. You weren't doing these things, and now that you're seeing,
and when he was threatened that he's gonna lose her,
that's when he starts showing up.
100%.
And I think it is. 100%. We've found ourselves in situations like that where
100%,
at the side of the end or something,
now you're like,
I need to
on edge.
I need to make an effort, but it's like,
let me send
It's like, why weren't you making an effort in the absence of someone else trying to pursue me?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
So I think Nick is also actually anxiously attached.
Oh, 100%. I think so too. But the difference between him and Mariah is that I think he knows that.
But what is he doing about it? Because also
he's pouring himself into art.
Nick and Mariah were both in the same situation.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see how Mariah, like, she was insecure, but she handled it a lot better.
Is it better though? Because she also talks about how as a child she just couldn't express herself. She couldn't express emotions. She was barred from doing any of that. So the fact that she didn't fall apart the way that Nick did makes me wonder, like, in terms of all of the emotion that she was holding about the situation, where did it go?
Okay, let's not compare them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that there's some work there that Nick needs to do, and he's kind of, I think he's negating that because he wants marriage with Sandy because he doesn't want to lose her.
Exactly.
Even
if it's a toxic situation.
And even over the fact that this person's qualities, like, looking into her qualities, like, he's completely just willing to forgo that.
Yeah.
Just to keep her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get married. I think Sandy's gonna say no.
I think so too.
Especially because she's seen what else is on the other side.
Caleb and Mariah, I don't think they should break up. I think there's things that need to be worked on. I don't think they should get married either.
Okay.
I'm
glad.
No, I
was waiting for you to land.
I think they should stay in relationship.
Yeah.
And work on their relationship, but also work on the things that they need to work on individually. So that they can show up better for each other in the relationship.
Agreed. Let us know what your predictions are. Who do you think will stay together? Who do you think will leave? And yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side at the end when we find out what has happened.
Awesome. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow us on our other platforms.
Yes.
Awesome. Cheers.